something along those lines. So I want you guys please put your hands together for James.
How's it going, lineup? You enjoying yourself so far? I like you guys already. That's good energy. This is my third time on stage, so I have found the perfect groove. I do this once a month. So we do open mics every 2 weeks. If anyone ever wants to get on the stage, please get in touch. You're always more than welcome. For me, I do monthly. I kind of skip the in-between ones, and that works well, because then I get to mine a month of my life for the amusement of strangers in a dark room. And that goes really well, because I save a fuck ton of money on therapy. I will just angle that at you guys. Yeah, so what's happened in the last month since I've been on stage? Oh, I'll tell you what's happened. Fuck COVID. I got COVID for the first time in the last month. Fucking COVID. Jeez. Is there anyone in the crowd who has not yet had COVID? Fair play to you guys. I thought I was doing well. 3 years in. For the guys who put their hands up, I don't know if you felt like this. I was walking around feeling like I was the survivor in a zombie movie. Everyone else getting fucking sick, and I'm going, I haven't got it yet. I'm doing great. You'll be zombie food in the apocalypse, and me, I'm still going strong here. And I fucking got it. That winning streak is gone. I'm no longer the hero in the zombie film. I am now the prick who will probably hide the fact that he's been bitten, because I have to decide, do I tell people, do I stay in? And I did stay in. I didn't go out. I didn't spread it around, but it does cramp the lifestyle somewhat. I can't come out and enjoy a beer like this. Yeah. I don't know if the guys in the back can see it. The front row looks fucking terrified, by the way. That was 3-4 weeks ago. Don't worry, you're all right. You're not at risk here. There's no COVID. You're not going to catch COVID. The only thing that's going with you might catch my animal magnetism. Here in the front, is it working? Have you got my animal magnetism? Is it working on you? You do not look impressed. But then again, neither.
Have tits.
Oh, I don't have tits. Well, that's why you are not impressed. Incidentally, my wife was sat directly behind you, also not impressed. So I'm going to go back to the But yeah, and COVID was a weird one for me. When I am not shortchanging therapists by just sharing my woes with random crowds in dark rooms, I work in hospitals. So do we have any doctors or nurses? No. Well, I'll tell you what, those guys are here. Let's give a cheer for the doctors and nurses. Those guys are here. And if there's any of them here, they would appreciate it. There's none of them here, so fucking that was just useless. But appreciate the effort, guys. Yeah, no, hospital working was weird when COVID came around, because hospitals at the best of times, they're a weird place to work. When you work in a hospital, the one surviving thing that will get you through is dark humor. So, to give you an idea, I'm not a doctor, not a nurse, not any of the clever people like physiotherapists or any of that. I'm a computer geek. So, I'm the kind of guy that I walk in, I can pretend I'm clever, but I'm really fucking not. I'm just Googling everything like, yeah, why the shit not? But I have the weirdest shit that I have to Google. I will go, if I have to design something, a typical day for me, I will go down and I'll say, all right, I've got to meet a nurse and design a new thing that she can record something on, or he will want to be able to do this, and I've got to go there and see it. I have had occasions where I will go to a ward and I'll sit in a little desk in the middle because they're busy, and you're trying so hard to focus on the person in front of you and not on the fact that someone directly behind them in a bed has the top of their skull popped off and you can see their fucking brain. That's a mind fuck, guys, let me tell you. But then, not only that, you will leave that meeting and you will go down to the emergency departments. And take it from the guy who works in the hospitals, there is a very good chance that anytime you walk into an emergency department in a hospital, someone is there for the removal of a foreign body. I appreciate not everyone, and alright, so no one here is medical. Removal of foreign body. If you're a child, you've stuck a battery up your nose. If you're an adult, you got bored and you put something somewhere where it shouldn't have gone. It got stuck, and it's decided it's staying there. It likes to home. And doctors and nurses see it all the time. People come up with the most elaborate ways of explaining how the situation came to pass. Yes, okay, fair enough. You were painting the ceiling in the nude, and you did have a tin of deodorant there to get rid of the paint fumes after, and you possibly fell, and through bad luck, it just went right up there. That doesn't explain the fact it's wrapped in a condom, though, does it? Doctors know. Doctors don't judge. They are there to help. It's okay. You want to put a tube of gas up your tube of gas, it's all right. Just don't bullshit. Be honest with your doctors and with your nurses.
Cheers, man.
Someone speaking from experience over here. Let's have you with a picture. Don't worry, your medical records are safe.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. I'm just listening, enjoying the show.
Fun times, we all get bored sometimes, my friend. We've all been there.
Yeah.
Also, pro tip then in that case, if you know an emergency department doctor, never ever accept a surprise Santa gift off them. I know from personal experience, anything that they have to retrieve goes in a box called the Hall of Fame. Emergency doctors tend not to have a lot of time off, so when they need a secret Santa gift, they go to the box of fame, and that's don't do it. Don't do it. It's honestly, life is more hygienic if you don't accept random gifts from the emergency doctors. Just throwing that one out there. So yeah, that is where I tend to work, is hospitals. Hydration is important. Hospitals, they are a weird place. A lot of people find them scary. I mean, for me, it's technically an office. I spend all my time there. I've been doing that for 15, 20 years. For me, a hospital is home. I know a lot of people find them scary. Hospitals shouldn't be. Don't be scared if you ever have to go to a hospital. It's there to make you better. It is full of people who care, whose whole thing is to make sure that you get well. The hospital is full of these people. It's half full of these people. It's also half full of people like me who make friends with pharmacists to score cheap drugs. So it's a mixed economy, but most folks there are decent, you know? I mean, they will look after you, so don't be scared. Don't be scared. And it is interesting to be able to work in a hospital, because for me, I've been doing it a long time. And there's some hidden benefits they never quite tell you about. I mean, when I was a slightly younger man, I found it quite an effective chat-up line to pretend to be a doctor. Now, when you work in a hospital, you kind of pick up the lingo. There's a little bit where you can look smarter than you are. You know, oh yeah, I'm a doctor, possibly. Yeah, it can make quite the easy way in. If you meet someone on a night out, you break the ice with that, it's a good way of doing it. I'll give that to you guys. If anyone here is single, there's a techno party here later. Claim to be a doctor. Don't claim directly to. I'm going to give you my advice. You guys are a good crowd, so I'm going to share my experience about it, okay? Never directly say, I am a doctor. That's a lie. Lying makes baby Jesus cry. We do not do this. But what you do is you find something that's technically the truth. If you bent the truth over this thing and made it scream. My favorite one was, I save babies. Technically the truth. I designed the software that the doctors who work in the neonatal ICU use for the babies. But if I save a minute at a time, I could theoretically argue that I have saved 0.25 babies over the course of my life. So I technically walk around saying, I save babies. Well, that's a better thing to do than walk around saying, I am a doctor, because that can end in disaster. And I'm going to leave you with a bit of a warning of why you never lie about what you do. Sometimes it's easy to over-exaggerate the truth here a little bit and kind of say, oh, well, this is what I do, and I'm amazing. I'm a fucking reprobate, but you won't know that. What I found is, if I go in, I'm never going to say directly I'm a doctor, because I think the second time I used that, this is going back 10 years. I was a younger man, I was probably early 20s. I met an interesting lady. She was one of these dirty, flirty, turty types, the kind that will teach you a few things. I'm down for this in my 20s, let me tell you. And I said, oh yeah, I'm a doctor. I just directly called it out. I am a doctor. I'm a junior doctor. Oh, I'm clever. I potentially will have money in the future. Don't you want to tickle my balls? I'm a doctor. And I get that as usual. Well, what kind of doctor? I've prepared for this. I know, all right, well, you can't do anything too obvious. You can't say, oh, I'm such and such, because then people ask questions. So I've got a system. Back then I had a system. I would go for urologist. Now, urologists, for people who don't know it, do two things. Well, they do a lot more, but two big things. One, wee-wee system for men and women. They look after them. And no one is ever going to turn around when you're flirting on the night out and say, oh, that's great. My piss is like lava and it smells like fucking onions. What does that mean? No one's going to say that. The other thing urologists will do is they will look after the gentleman's equivalent. So we have gynecologists for the ladies. Urologists tend to look after the gentlemanly equivalent. So if you're on a night out, ladies aren't going to ask, oh, you're oh, fair enough. This did not work on Dirty Flirty Turty. Dirty Flirty Turty eyes lit up and started saying, oh, that's great. My husband has erectile dysfunction. I'm not gonna lie, that fucking caught me by surprise. I was not expecting follow-up questions on this at all. I'm like, whoa, shit. I found myself consoling this Dirty Flirty Turty about the fact that, oh, well, maybe he's stressed. Maybe you need to look at his blood pressure. He should really go to his family doctor. Keeping in mind, I am a horny, drunk 20-year-old pretending to be a doctor, coming up with medical advice for a man I have not yet met. Weird fucking night. I mean, I felt for the guy. It was one of those weird situations where you will never meet this person, but you feel an affinity for him. I was like, well, shit, maybe there is something medical wrong and he needs to go to a doctor and he should be encouraged by his partner to do that. Maybe he knows his wife is cheating with dirty 20-year-olds in a pub somewhere. Maybe his dick is on strike. That could be what it is. Anyway, like I said, this shit's a lot cheaper than therapy, so I love you guys. My name is Stephen James. I hope you guys have enjoyed the viewing, and I'll talk to you later.
All right, so here's the part where we have an